to this edition of Dustin's Kaleidoscope. I'm Dustin, and today I have the pleasure of being here today with Nathan Davies, who is a local soccer coach here in Maplewood and the surrounding area. Thank you so much for being here today.
Glad to be here.
The reason I asked you to be on is because, one, I know that you're a soccer coach, and I think that's pretty cool, but the program that you are going to be participating in is called Kick Across Lesotho.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so this obviously involves soccer. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's basically, I'm going to be actually juggling the soccer ball, so keeping the ball in the air.
Okay.
Across the whole country of Lesotho in southern Africa.
Oh, okay.
Total distance of about 208 miles. So I'm going to go basically from border to border, trying to keep the ball in the air for the whole time. Yeah, pretty crazy. But, yeah, so it's Kick Across Lesotho came up with the idea, basically. The guy runs Kick for Life, the charity that I work for. We wanted to come up with a pretty big event that could
That's big.
Yeah,
208 miles.
That could get get exposure over there for their company for what they do.
And what do they do?
Basically, Kick for Life, it's a non-profit organisation, and they basically help vulnerable children in Lesotho, and they deal with HIV and AIDS. They do education with children over there. The main project I'm working towards it's called the Street Kids Program.
Okay.
And it's basically all the money that's going to be raised from my project, the Kick Across Lesotho, is going to go directly to getting the kids off the streets and getting them into orphanages and schools. It's a big problem over there with the kids on the street. I think the numbers at the moment are somewhere close to 500,000 orphans.
Wow.
Out of a population of only 2.1 million.
Okay. Wow. Oh, that's a huge number.
So there's a lot of kids on the street there, and there's a lot of child prostitution and like local street begging and stuff, like basically gangs who will kidnap kids or kids who are just not got any parents because of the AIDS problem.
Okay.
They've lost their parents because of AIDS. So basically it'll be Kick for Life's job, once the money has been raised from this project, to then put it into getting those kids off the streets and getting them into orphanages and schools and what have you. Okay,
that's such a great goal to have. So you got involved in this because of the larger organization, and Kick Across Lesotho is something that you personally are going to do all by yourself. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm going to be the only person doing it, and I'm going to be the first person to cross a country juggling a soccer ball in history ever.
So has Guinness been?
Yeah, I think they've been notified. And, yeah, it's definitely going to be a first. No one else has been crazy enough to think about doing it. So yeah, it'll be a first.
That's a lot of miles. How do you prepare for? I know you're a soccer coach, so you're already very fit, but that's a long distance. How do you prepare yourself, both mentally and physically, for something like this?
Well, at the moment, I'm doing a lot of training. I'm probably up to about 40 miles a week at the moment with the training,
of juggling.
Yeah,
oh,
juggling
really?
the ball.
Okay.
And what I do is I'm gonna probably steadily increase it over the course of the next 4 or 5 months until I go to Lesotho. Probably taper it down a little bit before I get there.
Okay.
But I'll probably increase it by about a couple of miles each week, and hoping to get to probably about an 80-mile week.
Wow.
And that won't just be juggling. That'll also be like long walks, because when it comes to the winter time, it's going to be tough to being outside.
That's true.
6 hours a day juggling on the road. So, with the condition of the roads in the winter time, so it's going to be like long walks as well. So that's going to be part of my training: long walks and juggling the ball for long time.
For long periods of time.
Yeah.
So when you go there, what kind of weather is expected? So when are you going there?
I'm going there. The actual event is going to start on the 20th of February.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to go a few days before, because when I'm starting the challenge, it's up in the mountains at a place called Sani Pass.
Okay.
And I think for the first about 110 miles is up in the mountains, so it's close to 4,000 feet above sea level. So I'm going to go like 3 days before to acclimatise to it, get used to that.
Okay.
And then start the challenge. We're looking at the 20th of February to start the challenge, and then I'm looking to hopefully take no more than 12 days to do the whole challenge.
Okay.
Which works out at about 18 miles a day, 17, 18 miles a day roughly.
So that's manageable, I guess, if you're already doing
the
number of miles.
At the moment I've gone just over 9 miles without stopping.
Oh, wow.
Like juggling for 9 miles without stopping. And I mostly do my high mileage on a Sunday. When I've done that, I felt quite comfortable, so I think going forward, I can, easily put in another 9,
Okay.
Well, not easily, but I can.
You'll manage it, huh?
Yeah. But that's the challenge is going to be doing that back to back for obviously.
For 12 days in a row. Okay. Yeah. But you're also training right now back to back, aren't you? Or are you?
Yeah, I'm training every day. I train every day. Probably put in a couple of hours every day, and on a Sunday I put in about 4 hours. There's a road closed off in Melbourne, Brookside Drive. I don't know if you know it.
Yes.
And it's like 1.8 miles each way.
Yep.
So basically, I just juggle from one end to the other and back, and just
Okay, now
so
I've seen you. Now you're the person. Yeah. We've been out there writing. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny because I know quite a few people on there now because they've said hello.
Because they've seen you.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll stop for food after like 5 or 6 miles, and I'll get talking to some of the people running and that. So it's
So how long have you actually been playing, soccer? Like, is this something that you started doing as a child?
It's funny, I didn't start playing soccer probably till I was about 9 years old.
Oh, okay.
My family's a big running family. So I think, first of all, my dad had us we were well into athletics and running. So I come from a big running family. So I think that was the main thing when we were kids. And then I started playing soccer around about 9. And I was already pretty quick then because I'd been running before. So that was an advantage. So just got into it then and just basically fell in love with the sport, and it's been everything soccer since.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you also going to be doing any running in addition to
for the training wise?
Yes,
I actually run every day anyway. I run probably just under a mile just to warm up every day and just loosen up and do a bit of yoga.
Okay.
In the morning, first thing in the morning. It's kind of my routine. I'll go out and do like a mile or so run, just to get warmed up, loosen up, do a yoga routine, and then go out and practice my my juggling or skills or whatever.
So you also coach as well. What are your students? And,
I do, yeah.
What are they thinking about this?
They think it's great because some of them have seen, like, some of the younger kids have seen the videos and they're like, oh, we've seen you on video. So they think it's great, and they've been a great help. The parents from the kids have been brilliant. Their support. The parents in Maplewood, South Orange have been amazing. With the support they've given me so far, it's been great.
So you mentioned the video. I have seen the video of you actually participating, I believe, in a 5K in Melbourne.
That's right, yeah.
And you actually did it you juggled the ball the entire way?
Yeah, I usually run the race, because I still do a bit of running, and I do a few 5Ks, and I usually run that race every year. And I'd seen a guy do something similar in England, so I was like, I think I could do that. I'm pretty good with the ball. So I was like, let me see if I can take that on. So I spoke to Pete. Pete Fleming is the guy who runs Kick for Life. He's now based in New York. And I said, I'm thinking about doing a local 5K run that I do. And I'm thinking of juggling the ball for it. What do you think? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So I just trained for that around the track. I've trained around the track. It was so boring. I was like training around the track for a couple of months before that, and before I knew that roads were closed off. The one in Melbourne. Yeah. Found out after the event that it was closed off. So I did that and did the 5K, and it was all right. It was pretty simple, to be fair. It wasn't that difficult, and it sounds difficult but it wasn't.
It sounds very difficult for someone who is.
After I'd done it, it felt like that was, I could go much further than that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't feel like it was like you were winded or difficult or.
Don't think it was challenging enough. No, it was.
Really?
It was good to start with. Like, it was good to do. When I first thought of it, I thought that's going to be a big challenge, and afterwards, I thought, yeah, it was good, but I know I can do a lot more. I can go a lot further than this,
And so when you're doing race, so is that the only race you've done?
That's the only race, juggling, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're racing, or even if you're on the Sunday morning, doing your practice, are people coming up to you asking, what are you doing? Or do they leave you alone? Or what kind of reaction do you get?
I've put a couple of signs up. I put a sign up at the beginning of the road and at the end of the road.
Oh, okay.
Basically with the website and, a picture of myself with mountains in the background, whatever, Lesotho, and then I'll leave a little basket of cards. So now and again, somebody will ask me what I'm doing, and obviously I can't stop. So I'm looking at the ball all the time. So I'll just say to them, yeah, there's a basket over there. Just take one of the cards, and my number's on the back and that. So a few people have taken a card, and then they've gone on the Facebook and whatever, or they've called me to ask some info on it. So that's been nice, yeah. So
you've mentioned that you have the card and a website. Can you tell us, if people want to support you doing this, how can they support you? What website?
Well, the website is kickacrosslesotho.com.
Okay, and can you spell Lesotho because...
Yeah, it's Lesotho.
Okay, because I think I would pronounce it differently, and I want people to make sure that
a lot of people say Lesotho or Lesotho.
Yeah, so that this way they know the correct website.
Yeah, Lesotho.
Okay, and it's all one word, no dashes or anything like that.
Kickacrosslesotho.com. On the website, it basically gives a brief description of my challenge, actually shows a map of my route from where I'm starting and where I'm finishing, and it gives a little bit of a background on myself, and then it gives like sponsor information. If you'd like to sponsor me or donate, you can do that. And I also have a Facebook page, which is basically facebook.com/Kick Across Lesotho.
Okay, so the Facebook and the websites are both the same name.
Yeah, the Facebook's good because I can keep giving training updates, and if I do little videos or photo shots,
Oh, that's great.
So that's kind of good to keep everyone kind of up to date with what I'm doing.
Okay, so we have about a minute left before we go to the next segment. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and you're going to show us exactly what juggling is, because I think most people, when they think of juggling, they think, okay, he's going to have like a couple of balls, he's going to be juggling this across the country. So we'll be back in about 1 minute, and we will see you next time.
Local government, local educational institutions, and local community members all use cable access TV to communicate their message. They depend upon it as an affordable means of outreach. Public educational and government access television empowers local government agencies, individuals, and groups to use the media to speak directly to their constituents in a more direct and cost-effective way. Make sure everyone has a voice. Support your local PEG channels.
Hi, and welcome back to this edition of Dustin's Kaleidoscope. I am here with Nathan Davis, who is a local soccer coach. And as you've noticed, we've switched the set around. So, Nathan, we've talked a lot now about the juggling that you're going to do. Yep. Can you now demonstrate and show us exactly what you're going to do?
Yeah, this is basically what I'm going to be doing across the whole country. Just walking as I'm juggling.
That's going to take a lot of concentration now that I think about it, because you got to look down the whole time.
That's right, you got a stiff neck. And then, just basically carry on going like this, and the longer I go, the more speed I'll kind of pick up.
Okay. And like how many, like right now, about how many minutes per mile are you
roughly,
able to?
Probably around about 21 to 22.
Okay.
There's a lot of hills in Lesotho, and a lot of it is kind of the first 100 miles or so is up and down.
Okay.
So, I think up the hills will probably take a little bit longer, and down the hills you'll compensate for it.
You're going to be sliding down the hill.
Go flying down the hills,
So, okay, maybe everybody has noticed that I actually changed my foot gear, because I'm game. I would like you to teach me how to at least the preliminary steps to juggling.
Yes. I think most people, when they start juggling, they just start with just one and then a catch, and then it's just one, a catch, and maybe the other foot and a catch, and maybe one on the knee or the other knee, and then they'll combine it 2 and 3 and so on. So if you want to try one, just
yes,
kicking the catch, and you want to probably keep your hands down low and just kick it up and just try and catch it.
All right. Let me just. All right, so
it's just a question of just keeping your eye on the ball, just staying relaxed and just dropping it down and just trying to get it on the laces and just touch it back up to catch it.
Like this?
And just touch it back up at the bottom of the ball.
This is a little harder than. Can you demonstrate this one more time?
Yeah, sure. So it's just there, and then just as you're dropping the ball, just bringing your foot up. So it's just a case.
So you don't wait for it to fall all the way down.
It's just kind of the same time. So the same time you let go of the ball, you bring your foot up and just kind of meet just in the middle. Get your hands there ready. Just hit the bottom of the ball.
Okay, I got to do this at least once, right? Oh, that's.
So let it drop all the way down to your foot.
There you go. All right, one more time. I think that's about. You know what? You said the knee as well.
Yeah, you can do the knee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yay! Look at that.
The knee and then catch it. I actually started doing it on my knees before my feet.
Oh, really?
Felt a lot more comfortable to do on my knees, and I think once I went across the whole soccer field when I was a kid, just juggling on my knees, because it felt more comfortable than doing it on my feet.
Nathan, this is difficult. I mean, I'm fairly athletic. I mean, I don't play a lot of soccer, but that's going to be pretty amazing for you to go the entire 208 miles across, the country. So along the way, are you going to do you have like certain stops along the way where?
Yeah, we're going to be stopping at a bunch of towns and like schools and orphanages on the way, doing like little education programs on HIV and AIDS on the way, and stopping off in orphanages, and hopefully like dropping things off like Last time when I went to Lesotho, we dropped off things like soccer balls and kits and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing that and basically passing a message on, of what I'm doing and hope to inspire the kids over there in some way. And basically do what we can to deliver education on HIV and AIDS, which is a big thing for Kick for Life.
So so how big is your team that's going over
So
there?
we've got obviously myself doing the juggling, and then I have the guy who's driving. There's going to be a truck behind me,
Okay.
and so I have a driver. I've got 2 cameramen, and we've got a guide who's going to be in front of me, maybe 10, 15 yards in front. I've been told just to get rid of any snakes or scorpions. Basically anything that's tell me like all right, go a little bit right here or go a little bit left.
And that's going to be the person in the front.
Yeah,
who's
someone's going to
look-
be standing in front. And I
Okay.
think they're going to switch that with the driver, so he doesn't have to walk the whole 208 miles. And then there's going to be a medical guy.
Okay.
Because it's at altitude, so they don't want to obviously take any chances to
Exactly.
start with, or if anything goes wrong when I'm up there. So they're going to have a medical person there as well.
So you have like a nice group of
Yeah,
people,
good
to
team,
make sure that it's
yeah.
safe and
Yeah.
fun too.
Yeah.
The stops that you're making, you said you're going to do about 12 miles a day?
18.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
18 miles
yeah.
a day over about
Over
12 days.
Yeah.
So you already have the different cities that you're going to be stopping
Yeah,
at?
yeah. I think Pete who runs Kick for Life, he's got a fair idea of where we're going to be stopping off at. So it'll be a case that, say I go 18 miles one day, but the place we're going to is maybe 5 miles down the road. We drive to that place, stop at the place, deliver the education talks, and then the following day we drive back to the starting point, which would probably be marked off,
really?
where I finished the day before and go from there again.
Okay.
And I think also some days if I'm feeling pretty good, like I've done 18 and there's still a few hours left in the day, and I think, okay, maybe I can do another 5 or 6 or something like that, then, that'll be the case. So I'm guessing there's going to be some good days out there, some bad days. So,
Right.
On the good days, I'll try and do a little bit more if I can.
And is it going to be summer there?
Yeah, it's going to be,
Okay.
it's right in their summer. So it's probably going to be about, I was out there last time in February in 2009. It was round about early 90s, but it was no humidity, which is,
Oh, that's
which is a
great.
big difference. Yeah,
Yes, it does make a big difference.
So we're probably going to avoid the peak hours of the day, like your 12 till 2,
yeah.
so start early around about 6 and go to like 11:30, 12 and then avoid, like I said, 12 till 2 and then go in the afternoon again, So we're going to be sensible about it and get the mileage in when it's kind of cool.
So I'm just curious, like how many soccer balls do you have to bring?
I'm going to take probably 3.
Okay.
I'm probably going to take 3 of these because I've been used to practicing with these balls. I've probably got about 30 of these, and I'm going to take 3 of them, and I'm also going to take 2 pairs of sneakers. So I've got my Adidas Sambas on now, so I'm just breaking these in. I've got another new pair, so I'm thinking by the time it comes round, they're going to be well broken in, and they'll feel good then to juggle in. So yeah, a couple of pairs of shoes and 3 soccer balls and. I know there's a lot of other gear I'm going to need to take, but yeah, that's the.
But the main
that's
stuff,
the
like
main
your
stuff,
feet
yeah.
and of course the ball.
Yeah.
So what about are you going to have like a Nathan tracker, like so we can follow you on Google Maps?
They're looking to
or
put
something
looking
like
to
that?
put something together, so you can spot each day where I'm up to, type of thing, so people can look and even kids in the school. I think there was an idea somebody said about.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the parents was saying, I've got an idea that we can do it where the kids can look where Nathan
Where
is
you
the next day, type of thing. So where I'm up to on the map. So,
And just for people who may not have seen the first segment, you're actually going to be juggling the ball across the entire country, 208 miles.
yeah, we
across.
start in a place called Sani Pass.
Okay.
And it's basically up in the mountains. If anyone was to look at like a Google image of Sami Pass, it's a road that's built into a mountain, a bunch of mountains, and it's just like this. It's a windy road.
Wow.
And then we finish in a place called Missouri, and it's that's 208 miles. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Just in case people did not know what we were talking about, they just tuned in.
Yeah.
So you're going to be doing that, and you're going to be making stops, and the very cool thing about it is that you're raising money to increase HIV awareness. But
That's right.
you said also there are about 500,000
I think the exact
kids
number is something like 488,000 kids that
Wow.
are orphans out of, I think the population is 2.1 million.
Okay.
And most of them kids have been orphaned by AIDS.
Okay.
So yeah, it's
So
obviously
you're
a big
raising
problem
money
there. Yeah.
for this, like for the larger organization, which
Yeah.
will help try and get all of
Yeah.
these kids off the
That's,
street.
that's basically the idea.
and-
All the funds will go towards getting the kids off the street and getting them into orphanages. that's the big thing that we're looking at. Yeah.
When you're doing double duty though, because you're also going to be juggling the ball, but at every day or at least periodically, you're going to be having talks about HIV awareness and every day, correct?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
You know, I want to try and do as much as I can out there and make as much of an impact as we can.
Right.
There's certain places in Lesotho that Kick for Life have not been to yet. Like certain areas, like certain towns and certain schools. So they can, by doing this, by me crossing the country, they can reach out to certain towns they haven't been to, and obviously places and schools and reach those kids, educate those kids, and if there's a problem there with a lot of kids living on the street, then hopefully work to get them into a better place.
Exactly. That's so awesome. So we talked a little bit about your training, and you said that you basically were in a running family, so you picked up soccer pretty fast. Can you remind us again how people can contact you, find out more about the Kick Across Lesotho?
I have the website, which is kickacrosslesotho.com.
Okay.
Lesotho, Lesotho.
Okay.
And also have the Facebook page, which is the facebook.com/kickacrosslesotho. And they can, all my details are on both of those sites if they needed to contact me for anything. And then you can also donate on the website. There's a donation page. They can do that.
And this is going to be in February of 2014, is that correct?
That's right, yeah. This February 2014. I've got about 4 or 5 months left of training to put in.
How do you feel about how you're training? How do you feel about it so far?
Yeah, pretty good. I think the hardest thing is consuming enough food.
Really?
Yeah, everyone asks me, like, what's the hardest thing about your training, and it's consuming enough food, because I probably need now around about 5,000 calories a day.
You are kidding.
No, because I'm training like 3 hours a day, sometimes more, and on Sunday around about 4 hours a day.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I need a lot more calories than I'm used to eating, and probably some days I'm getting like 2,500 when I need like probably 4,000 to 5,000.
Twice that amount, right?
I can tell the days I'll feel really good that I've had some good training sessions, and if I've had close to 5,000, and most of my diet is vegan, so it's hard to get a lot of calories in.
Exactly.
So I'm kind of experimenting with different food at the moment to try and up the calories, high calorie foods, and so that's the challenge at the moment, really.
Wow, that's pretty awesome that you're able to do that on a vegan diet. And we have about a minute and a half left. So I did want to ask you, other than just like the physical aspect of your training and the food, what is your, and it sounds like that's a big challenge, eating a lot of, that wouldn't be for most people, but what's your like end goal? Like, I know you want to help people, but like, what will you feel very satisfied with? And we have about 30 seconds left.
I think to get as many kids off the street as we could. That would be a real success if we can get a lot of kids off the street, away from the child prostitution and the begging. And I think also to inspire other people to to follow doing what they love doing. Like, I love juggling a ball, love being with a ball, and then put that towards helping someone in some way. It's that's basically what it's all about. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to see how what happens in February, and to track your progress. And to everyone else, thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Dustin's Kaleidoscope, and we will see you next time. Bye.